Virgo. I'm here to give you some messages from Spirit where we look at the path work ahead of you and what is coming towards you on your path, the best way for you to greet it so you can align with your purpose and clear the blocks from your path so you can move forward to your empowerment. And we're going to dive right into this. This is for any strong Virgo placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, a prominent placement in the 6th house, or if you are a Pisces rising, that makes you a Virgo descendant. So let's see, what does Spirit want Virgo to know at this time? What does Spirit want Virgo to know at this time? What does Spirit want Virgo to know at this time? All right, let's see what we've got here. Infinite possibilities, Skull of Stars. So I do feel that you recently went through some major ending in your life. There was a major transition you had to face. There was some sense of loss, okay? There was some death in your life that you faced. You know, it's interesting in tarot land, you'll often hear people say unalive, but it's important that we look at death. Death is part of life. And death can be, of course, a physical experience. So some of you may be processing the loss of a loved one. And if you are in that position, I just wish you a lot of love and comfort as you integrate their energy changing form, you know, because they're always still with us. It's just a transformation of energy. Love never dies. But I also feel like it's important to bring forward the piece about the deaths that we experience emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So I do feel like you're in the process of going through some major initiatory gateway, and your life is about to really change. Okay, it's going to be one of those defining moments where it's like a line drawn between the past and what is yet to be, and this will be the time that you mark when everything changed. When you look back on it years down the road, you may not be aware of it right now because you're sort of like fumbling through the dark. You're not sure what's up ahead, but you have infinite possibilities ahead of you. And some of you, you did experience a physical death in your circle, in your family, someone that you love very dearly, and they may have left something behind for you, some kind of inheritance that changes your life, changes the scope of your life, opens up possibilities for you, all right? And you may be thinking of the best way to use those resources, not only to transform your life, but also to really honor the life of the person who left you behind that gift. We have free from judgment, free to love, okay? So I do feel like a lot of you may be experiencing endings as well, where you're shedding some old shadow stuff that was left over. Now, if you had kind of a complicated relationship with a person who passed on, this could be a message that's being sent that says, you know, I love you, and I will always love you. And it's sort of a transcending those limitations, those things that hold us back in life. For some of you, you may have had a parental figure that really affected your ability to open up to love, you know, in a way where you are able to be unguarded, where you don't feel like you're being judged for your feelings, where there's just a certain ability for you to just be emotionally authentic, let your guard down, and know it will be received, you know, with compassion, with understanding, with welcoming. All right, this piece coming in, it was 4:44 when I went into that. I also feel like you may have had a relationship that sort of had a damaging effect on your sense of self, how you view yourself, and maybe you're deserving of love. This is what's coming through, okay? There's something here about you could have dealt with a lot of judgments from a past partner that just put you in a mindset where you started to feel like it wasn't safe for you really to open up and be yourself, romantically. Unguard your heart and just really let it come through you, your emotional expression come through you uncensored. There's something you're working through here. I think you're not defining yourself anymore according to other people's perceptions of you, but there's like this reclaiming that's happening right now where you're really owning your ability to validate yourself. You know, you're not needing the approval of others. And I think you're releasing yourself from the shackles of those judgments of the past, and maybe even people who made you feel like you weren't worthy of love, you didn't deserve love. There's something that is really happening here on a transformational level. Ooh, and look at this. We have the ivory wish fulfilling crows. This is so beautiful. So beautiful here. This is about really finding a place of karmic balance and closing a very significant cycle. I do feel like there's some shadow energy that you're just releasing. To me, it feels around a major transition in your life that concerns the loss of a loved one. For some of you, this is that a loved one has passed on, okay? And you're integrating this experience. For others of you, this is the ending of a really significant romantic relationship, and it's having a profound effect on you. Or a very close friend, okay? That can be the case too, you know? Somebody that you really felt a heart connection with. And so there's some kind of transformation happening here. And I feel like you're releasing all the heaviness, all this sort of like kept you in a place of holding your energy back. That's what I got. I feel like you're more willing now to start to bring your light forward and to let yourself be seen, and to let yourself be seen in your emotional authenticity. But it has everything to do with you being in a place of self-affirmation and not needing the validation from anyone outside of yourself, which is beautiful. And I think because you've aligned with this energy, you've opened up all of this space in the letting go and the willingness to open up, that you've made room for some beautiful wish fulfillment that wants to come in for you. So where you felt like you were just going to be walking through the shadow forever. I mean, maybe you've really been going through a long process of integrating some heavy stuff. 8:08 on the clock. Okay, 8:08 is an angel number that's about being on the right track, being in the right place at the right time, taking the right steps, doing the right thing. Okay, so you're on the path you're meant to be on. Okay, the way you're moving forward is totally in alignment with your purpose. Okay, and I do feel like there's been times when you've questioned it because it just felt like so heavy and you didn't know how you were going to get to the other side of it. But there's some validation coming in from spirit, you know, and you always have that connection to spirit, but there is some validation that is coming through in the form of a wish, a long held wish being fulfilled for you, that lets you know that, yeah, you know, you got it, you know, you got it. You did the right thing. You took the right actions. You've arrived at the correct place of self-awareness. That's what I feel. I feel like you've really set yourself free. And because of that, there's some sweet reward coming in for you. Ah, I love this. Look at this. Vulva of Satyr. Okay. So all you need to do is open yourself to receive and to let that light pour into you. I think you're moving into this place of receptivity. I think you are trusting this new growth, that you can kind of feel it. You can feel it gestating within you. You know that there's going to be a new beginning coming onto your path soon. I think you've been sensing this. You've been feeling it. It's like you can feel the energy coming in before it's actually arrived. All right. Again, though, it's because you've allowed yourself to soften in the heart center. You know, something was really held in, contained here. There was too much shielding going on here. And I feel it's been like a survival mechanism. It's what you learned as you were growing up. I got a lot of connection to childhood with this. Okay, so you learned this from childhood, that I have to kind of like hold myself back. Like, I can't let this be seen. You learn to be very self-protective. And I do feel like you've been doing a lot of release work, a lot of letting go. And as you've done this, and it has something significantly connected to an ending. And if this was in relation to a loved one passing on, it could be that there was something you sort of inherited from that person that caused you to feel this. And now it's sort of like something's transforming in the release of life. Okay, it sort of also simultaneously freed you from an attachment to something that held you back a lot when you were younger, that you've still kind of been playing out in your life. But it's not until this loved one passed on that you almost felt like unburdened by this. Okay, and it may have been because you got kind of down to the heart of the matter. And some of you realize this through the ending of a relationship, because in some ways, the relationship that you were in mirrored the relationship that you saw play out in your home growing up, or in family members and the people around you. There was some way that you'd been really programmed here. I see 11:44 on the clock. So there's a lot that's been guided here and spiritually guided, and that's coming into alignment with you. It was through the relationship that you're now in the process of integrating, that you're stepping away from, it feels like, or you're ending a major cycle in a relationship where perhaps it was mirroring back to you reflections of things that you took on in your childhood from your own upbringing, and just seeing how did your parents love one another? What was that love story? How did it play out in your relationships as an adult? So I feel like there's something here that you've really integrated, and it's because you've released this and softened around this, that this light is ready to pour into your life. It's beautiful. You're in this beautiful, beautiful receptive space. I also feel like you're in this place where you're also really respecting the beauty of your heart and the beauty of your love. There's a sovereignty here too. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you're really honoring your heart, you know? And I see that this could be a case too, where maybe you felt like you weren't being respected in love, weren't being valued for what you were sharing from your heart. There's something here about really honoring the truth of your heart. Oh my gosh. Wow. Blockage. Maybe somebody's been actively censoring your ability to speak the truth of your heart. Or hasn't been making it safe for you to go to this place. There is so much blockage here. Oh my gosh, excuse me. There's something here that is being moved out of the sphere of your influence, that has been silencing your voice and silencing the expression of your love. Okay. It's coming in very powerfully. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck here. I did a cut, so I have your overarching theme card set aside there. My goodness, that was so intense. It was so powerful the way that came in. It was just like, no, do not express that love, okay? So I don't know. Do you have a forbidden love? Do you love somebody that you aren't supposed to love, you know? Do you hold yourself back from really expressing what you're feeling because of that? Is there somebody that's trying to drive a wedge between you and somebody you love? And this is keeping that flow of connection from manifesting, okay? Because when we look at Vishuddha, when we look at the throat chakra, it's not just about communication. This is also your purpose, okay? So it could be that you are meant to connect with somebody. You are meant to share your heart with somebody. Oh my gosh. You're meant to express this, and something is actively blocking it. Alabaster tablet of Layla. There's something you need to tune into here, okay? You need to really listen to your intuition about this. You might be sensing this. You might be sensing that there's some interference here, okay? Sometimes it can be a fear that we have within ourselves. It can be something that we're still holding on to that is keeping us in that place where we block ourselves from this expression. And there's something here to really spend some time with. You need to look internally at this, all right? I feel like something is blocking this expression and the activation of you actually coming together with somebody that you are meant to share with from the heart space, right? This could be outside interference. And in the case where you sense that, I do encourage you to spend some time just sort of being quiet and being internalized, you know, maybe even doing a little meditation and just asking for some guidance to come in, because I think that you're going to arrive at the answers within rather than outside of yourself. There is this piece that comes in repeatedly for you about self-affirmation, self-validation, not needing another to tell you what's what, okay? There's something here that you just know. You intuitively know this, okay? So you're being asked to trust your intuition, trust what's coming through here. Let me see what's trying to come through for Virgo that's being blocked, okay? Because it really feels like something, oh yeah, you got some blocking energy going on here. Look at this, vampire. Emotional intelligence. Like I said, you know that there's somebody here that is draining the life out of this thing, draining the life out of something that's supposed to be full of life, okay? And this is kind of hidden. This is hidden in the dark. This could be somebody who likes to do moon magic, all right? This could be an energy that is somewhat vampiric, parasitic, draining. This could be a connection that you had with somebody that was, you know, a very unhealthy relationship. It could have been an addictive relationship. It could have been somebody who really took you to, you know, some really deep, shadowy places. There may be a need to really make peace with this, if that's the case, and sort of lay some things to rest. You might want to lay this connection to rest. You know, this might sound a little macabre, but it's what's coming through. You might want to do sort of a symbolic release ritual around this. So what you can do, all right, is you can get a box and you can decorate this box like a casket, all right? And that can be just, you know, drawing on it. You can get creative with it, all right? It is part of the release work. It is part of the healing process. And in this box, you're going to put something specific, okay? So what you're going to do is go out on a daily walk. And maybe your daily walks can be this time when you tune within and sort of listen to your intuition. It can be time for you to sort of take whatever it is that you're kind of struggling with, those last remnants of whatever you're releasing, because I do feel like you're just about to get to the other side of this and start to have those infinite possibilities pour in along with your wish fulfillment. When you're out on your walks, just gravitate towards stones, okay? And just every time you go on a walk, pick up a stone, you know, any stone that you're drawn to. You can even take it on a hike, okay? And bring it back with you. And whatever you were sort of like focused on in your walk, whatever you were sort of processing, think of one word that really captures that heavy energy of what you were processing. So it could be grief, it could be anger, it could be shame, okay? And write it on the rock and then put it inside your casket, okay? So what you're going to do is you'll do this for a while. This is sort of a slow working, sort of processing kind of release ritual that you can do. I would do it for a good solid month, maybe this entire month of February. Leading up actually to your full moon would be excellent. You do have your full moon coming in on February 24th. Okay, so daily you go on a walk, you get a rock, you write the word on it, you put it in the casket, and you use these walks as a way to hold space, because it's good to have sort of containment around whatever last remnants of shadowy stuff you're processing, so it doesn't color your whole life, you know, so you don't walk around with a dark cloud over you. Instead, you take it for a walk, you bring it out into the light, and you use this time for, you know, brooding. You know, you let this be your time that you really allow yourself to sink into those heavy emotions, what you're processing. And it's good because as you walk, it also gets your lymph moving. It helps sort of reprogram the consciousness. And it's amazing when you take something you're struggling with for a walk, the way that it can help you have a breakthrough. Okay. So then what you're going to do is right around your full moon, okay, right around that time. If you're not able to get out actually on full moon, that's okay. There is the dark moon phase after your full moon that will come in that's also really excellent for release. So like I said, you can work with this throughout the month of February. But what you'll do is you're going to take your casket, okay? You're going to take your casket full of its rocks, and you're going to feel the weight and heaviness of that, okay? Of everything you've been holding. And if you want to take it for a hike, it's especially cathartic. But if you're not able to do that, it can suffice to just go anywhere, the coast, by the ocean, somewhere in nature where you can have some time to yourself, and you're going to open up that casket. You're going to bring your casket with you, okay? You're going to open up that casket, and one by one, you're going to pick up, you know, those rocks inside, and you're going to hold it in your hand, and you're going to connect with the feeling that's written on that rock, that thing that you're releasing, that thing that you're letting go, and you're going to throw it away from you, cast it away from you. And as you do, one by one by one by one, it's actually very powerful, okay? And it's so powerful because you're building it over this period of time that it really takes root. So when you're connecting with it in that final moment of connecting with the feeling that you're ready to cast off, the shadowy aspect that you're ready to release, and you throw it, oh, it's so freeing, you'll see. And then when you're all done, you're going to have this empty casket, right? And you'll pick it up and you'll bring it back with you, okay? And this is going to be, you know, so much lighter. So it's a very powerful, visceral exercise. And then what you can do is you take your casket home, and now you can do like a collage on it, or you can decorate it with symbols of hope and the new energy that you want to bring in. And so this can become sort of like a manifestation box for you, where now you can wake up each day and instead you can like put some kind of like little note about what you're manifesting for yourself that day inside of your box. And then you can have a whole different, you know, a whole different use for what it was before. It sort of like invites in those infinite possibilities. And then as you continue to move forward, every time you start feeling down, every time you start feeling like the heaviness creep in, because sometimes it does when we're working to shed an old heavy cycle, you can open up your box, your manifestation box, and you can read all of those, you know, visualizations, affirmations, you know, positive quotes, you know, anything of this nature, even, you know, special messages you receive from other people. Like if somebody sends you a card, or, you know, something that means a lot to you, you can put it inside of this box. Anything that gives you a feeling of upliftment, hope, possibility, what you're wanting to call in, you can then go through the box anytime you feel the heaviness come in, and it'll just really like lift your spirits, okay? So it can be like sort of like a treasure chest of sorts, you know, but it's a treasure chest of the treasures that you're ready to receive now, and the positive things that you're ready to call into your life, and the new energy you're building for the future. But I do feel like this is a way to sort of like clear out the heaviness of this connection. Okay. Yes, and I feel like it's more what drains you about this connection is that you still have an attachment to it. But by actually holding space for this and being willing to look at it in such a mindful way, and then doing that release work of just casting it off, I really feel like you're going to step into a whole new level of empowerment. Now, let's see your overarching theme card here. Yes. Do you see here? Isn't this beautiful? Now there is no need to guard the heart. Look at how full the heart is. And the heart looks like an egg. It looks like an egg that's about to birth new life. So there's something coming in here. This wish fulfillment is really going to fulfill your heart. All right. There's something really beautiful happening here. And it's definitely something that is meant for you. We have the crown is lit. Okay. So there's something awakening, something stirring here. And this is epsilon modulation. So you're coming to a place of balancing out the energy of the past with the future that you're ready to step into. And it's all going down right now in the present. And from this, a beautiful new direction full of love and promise and infinite possibility is going to come through for you. And it begins with a very special wish fulfilled.